welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hey, how you doing? My name is Ash. I am a makeup artist and a book lover, like clearly a book lover, and I'm ready to do my November reading wrap up. So welcome to another day of my 25 days of Christmas series. I am technically filming this on the 1st, so happy December. I love doing this video where I get ready, do my makeup, and talk about books. I read 10 physical books and 19 on my Kindle. Some of the books on my Kindle, I will admit, were novellas, so they were very short and quick to read. So I have a ton of books to get through. I know I talked way too much, but welcome to my life. Let's get started. Alright, so I'm going to get started by moisturizing. I'm going to go in with my Lawless one as usual. I'm going to try to not talk so much about the products because I'm not doing anything like revolutionary with my makeup. I just want to talk about the books. And I need to get ready for the day, so why not? So for the month of November, I ended up reading 29 books altogether, 10 physical and 19 on my Kindle. And a few of the books that I read on my Kindle were like short novellas, so it only took me like an hour or so to read. So on my Kindle, I actually finished the Blue Halo series by Anissa Catherine. This is an 8-book series and it takes place after the Project Arma series. It should be read as Project Arma first, then Blue Halo, and then Mercy Ring. I read it out of order. I read Mercy Ring first, then Project Arma, then Blue Halo. So the gist of Blue Halo is it takes place after Project Arma is done. Project Arma was an unsanctioned government experiment where they took SEALs and those that were just really good at their job, I guess, and shot them full of drugs to change them into like super soldiers. So Project Arma is about taking down those that started it, and then Blue Halo is the aftermath of what happened once they took care of Project Arma, and then it came out in the world that, hey, there's super soldiers among you. So her books are interconnected. Book 4 of Project Arma, you're introduced to Logan, who is the first book in the Blue Halo series. And then in book 3 of the Blue Halo series, you're introduced to the boys of Mercy Ring. And obviously I read Mercy Ring first, so I wasn't aware of that. And then another lead out, which I think is really cool, is in Book 8, Liam's story. His love interest, Nyla, she has, I don't know how many older brothers that are some sort of ex-military and live in Tennessee. And she has a new series about those brothers coming out. They're not like riveting stories, okay? I gave, on average, these stories like between 3.5 and 5. I think overall I would give the series a solid like 4.5. Both Blue Halo and Project Arma and Mercy Ring. I think the problem that I have with these books is that men like that do not exist. And then I delved into a Christmas book. This is A Merry Little Meet Cute by Julie Murphy and Sierra Simone. I ended up giving A Merry Little Meet Cute 4 stars. It's cute, there's spice, it has good representation for the LGBTQ, plus size women, body positivity, you know, all the good stuff that you want to read about. So the story follows Nolan and B. B is an adult film star, and Nolan is a former band boy for a band called Ink. Nolan was like the bad boy of his band group, and lately his family has fallen onto hard times, and he needs to kind of clean up his image because there's a fiasco at the Olympics. And he needs to clean up his image to land a job that will hopefully get him and his family more stable. His family being his mom and his sister. And B, being an adult film star, she wants to kind of break away and kind of just be a regular actress, not just, you know, an accountant actress. And her producer for the adult film entertainment company is trying to break into a more mainline form of revenue. And he takes on doing a wholesome, family-friendly holiday romance movie. But his main actress, Winnie Baker, who was supposed to star alongside Nolan, and something happens with her, and lo and behold, the producer's in a little panic mode. So he takes people from the adult film side and then people on the Christmas side and bring them together without letting anybody in the network know that the lead actress is a porn star and half the crew works in that field. It is funny, it's cute. I actually bought the second book, and there is like a little middle novella that takes place in like the summertime between these holiday books, between Angel and Luca, and that sounds adorable and I want to read it. Anyways, I talked too long. I suck at summing things up, so I'm gonna try to do better the rest of this video. The next book I read was Toxic by Maggie Cole. Toxic is part of a series that Maggie Cole has in her like mafia world. This is book 1 in the New York Mafia books. I ended up giving this 3 stars. I didn't realize what I was going to be going in. It's quite a long book. Not like super long, it just took a while to get through. So you have kind of not necessarily a love triangle. So you have Dante, who is with the Italian Mafia, then you have Bridget, who is with the Irish Mafia, and you have Sean, who is also Irish Mafia. So Dante and Bridget knew each other when they were younger. She always had a crush on him, and apparently the Italians and the Irish, they were like friends, but they weren't allowed to marry into each other's family. Dante was very hot and cold with Bridget. He obviously was attracted to her, but like he played up like his playboy ways, and because of that she ended up leaving the area. She went to Chicago to stay with another Irish Mafia family where she met and fell in love with Sean. This story takes place over 24 years. I gave it 3 stars because it was just so frustrating, because Bridget has like this huge problem, this huge secret, okay, of what happened with Sean, what happened with her family, why she is the way she is. All of it could have been solved several years ago if she just opened her mouth and talked to somebody. I'm most disappointed in the end because it's like, what happened with her, without spoiling, what happened with her, like I get it, sad, whatever, you're scared. You're scared, I get it. You literally could have talked to your father, the head of the mafia, and everything would have been settled. Dante and Bridget end up getting together. I don't really believe that storyline, but like she was just so annoying. And I read that, like I stayed up to read that. I should have gave it a 2. I'm gonna go a little bit out of order of what I read. I'm just gonna bring up Iron Flame because I read it and I cried, and we need to talk about this for a minute. So Iron Flame is the 2nd book in the Imperium series by Rebecca Yarros. This book actually picks up right where Fourth Wing left off. So there is no gap in time. You just jump right back into how that book ended. I'm not going to spoil anything about Fourth Wing if you haven't read it yet. Iron Flame delves more into the politics and the history and everything that's going on in this world. You learn more about, you know, powers. You learn more about how messed up the school is. I will say I kind of found Violet to be a little bit annoying in her treatment of Xaden. Like, I get why she's upset, but it's also like you can't see it from his point of view. But they eventually work it all out, and let me tell you, the ending of this, there are 3 parts in here that made me very sad. That is the torture scene, and then 2 events at the end of the book. You're everything we dreamed you would be, all 3 of you, and I'll get to see him soon. Like, why? Why would you do that to us? And then the end? Me? You should be scared of me? You? Got issues with you. And then I finally read the Twisted series by Anna Wong. I'll start with my least favorite, which was Twisted Love. This is the story of Ava and Alex. Alex is Ava's older brother's best friend. I gave that one a 3.5-star rating because I found Alex to have like no redeeming qualities. In this book, he is just too cold and like unfeeling to a degree where you can't believe that this person is real. It's like a grumpy sunshine, almost forced proximity. Ava's going through some stuff. Alex is always going through some stuff. It's semi enemies to lovers, which I enjoy, but I didn't really feel like their relationship meshed together well, which is a bummer because I liked her other books better. Twisted Game is between Reese and Bridget. This is a bodyguard trope, age gap, forced proximity, all the good stuff. I didn't know who I was gonna like more, Reese or Christian. Unfortunately, Reese came out second. I like Christian a lot more. Obviously, it's a forbidden romance. They are not meant to be together because she is a royal. Bridget's brother abdicates the throne, which leads Bridget, the one, to have to take over, and she didn't want to do that. Their story was like if they want to be together, they gotta like fight to be together. I thought it was just really nice how their story played out together. I think Twisted Games actually takes place over a 4-year span that starts in Twisted Love. You hear about Reese in Twisted Love because he's Bridget's new bodyguard. But I really enjoyed it, and I end up giving this one a 4.5. Twisted Hate is about Josh and Jules. Jules is Ava's best friend, sharing the best friends in this family. They really don't like each other, and they haven't liked each other since they met. Josh's disdain for her is actually kind of funny because he doesn't know her. He's like a doctor and thinks like he's kind of like better than everybody. Jules ends up getting a job at a medic center that Josh actually volunteers at. So they end up seeing a lot more of each other and they kind of strike up a hate sex deal. And it works until they start catching feelings. And I ended up giving this a 4, but I will say that Josh was a complete dick. This also plays off of the first book because Alex is Josh's best friend. You know, obviously Ava is his sister. So you got all that. I will say, this has nothing to do about Josh and Jules. The emotional growth of Alex in this book, if that was in book 1, would have been a higher rating for me. This book isn't even about Alex, but the humanity that he is showing in this book, the little bit of emotion that he gives, made me like Alex a little bit more and made me believe in their story a little more. I'm gonna start on my eyes. I have a few more books to talk about. I'm just gonna finish off really quick with Twisted Lies. This is with Christian and Stella. Christian is a CEO of a security company. Stella is like a influencer who happens to have a stalker. Christian and Stella strike up a fake dating scheme. Stella kind of needs a fake boyfriend to kind of get to 1 million followers. It's kind of stupid, whatever. That's the life of an influencer. And Christian agrees to it because he needs somebody to go places with him. But he's very strict about his security. She can't post his face or anything. Mysterious photos, that's what she can post. It took over 300 pages for them to first kiss. Now, Christian is a true morally gray man, but the way that he loves Stella, the things that he will do for Stella, I love. And also this book and a little bit of nuggets throughout the rest of the book ties into her Kings of Sin series. So the next 2 books I read are from Lucy's Score. I read Mr. Fixer-Upper, which I gave 3.5 stars. And then I read The Christmas Fix, which I ended up giving 4 stars to. So Mr. Fixer-Upper and The Christmas Fix are kind of part of a series. Not kind of, they are. Gannon and his sister are the stars of a basically HGTV type of show. His sister is like the designer and he is like the carpenter. Paige is a producer, I think. She works behind the scenes. The big wigs, they step in and be like, I want Paige Might. I want her and Gannon to play up their little, not like rivalry, but like they wanted to play up something fake for the ratings. And I ended up giving it 3.5 stars because, I don't know, I found Paige to be just a little bit annoying with how she treated Gannon at the end. Although Gannon is not like completely not at fault. They're both attracted to each other, but Paige doesn't want to pursue a relationship because she works on the show. She doesn't want people to accuse her of sleeping her way to a job. So she's more like afraid of like the rumors and everything that could like derail her career. But Gannon gets to her and they end up forming a relationship. And then the network basically humiliates her for views and she ends up leaving and almost completely quitting the show. But they work it out, and then we get the story of Kat, Gannon's sister, who is like basically her own boss, kind of a badass lady. There was a hurricane hit on the east and destroyed basically this little town of Mary, Connecticut, and she was looking to find a holiday special that she could do that would, you know, make an impact and not just be like a money grab thing. She wanted to actually do something that would help people. She ends up going to Mary, Connecticut and helping people in the flood without anybody knowing who she is. And when she broaches the topic of doing this, and basically everybody's on board except for the city manager, Noah. Noah has like this strong animosity against Kat. And the funny thing is, he's never met her. He just judged her based on what he perceived. Thought that she was like this snooty, like, reality star TV person. And he didn't want her in the town. He felt like her coming in with her camera crew was taking advantage of the situation and exploiting Mary, Connecticut. This hurricane, I think, happened in like the end of October. And Mary, Connecticut has basically all of their revenue comes from the Christmas festival. Kat has this crazy idea to film them basically fixing the town and getting the Christmas festival to happen on Christmas Eve. So Kat and Noah kind of just go at each other. They're not happy with each other. They're attracted enough. Noah's a single dad. He has like a 12-year-old daughter. Like, it's kind of cute how their relationship progresses once they get past sort of the animosity. But it's cute. And I didn't expect to tear up in this. But like, for the boy who dreamed of the light, little tears. Little tears. And then I sped read the book All I Want for Christmas by Wendy Lagiev. I gave this a 3-star rating. And it's not that it's a bad book. My issue with it was I didn't realize that it was super YA. Like, can I call it children's? Because it's like 14, 15-year-olds. And like, I feel weird reading about children. But this is about a girl named Bailey who wants a little Christmas magic. She wants a kiss under the mistletoe. And then you have Jacob, who isn't really feeling the Christmas spirit, and he ends up kind of just meeting with Bailey, and then they start hanging out, you know, as teenagers do. And she sort of kind of has like a love triangle thing going on because she's having fun with Jacob, but then this guy Charlie is like her dream man, and she just doesn't know what to do. But Charlie seems too good to be true, which means that he probably is, so that's how that works. But it's just a cute read about discovering the magic of Christmas, and you know, if you're a teenager or much younger than me, you might find it like cuter, but I felt weird reading it. And then the last physical book that I read was The Wicked King by Holly Black. This is the second book in the Cruel Prince series, and this picks up exactly 5 months after the Cruel Prince ends. So without giving too much away, this is about Jude dealing with being a human in the fairy world. Carden is now king because of Jude, and Carden is very, very upset with Jude. This book is like a true enemies to lovers. Jude and Carden just did not get along. Like, the book one wasn't named Cruel Prince for nothing. He is labeled as just not a nice dude. Part of the reason why he has so much hatred towards Jude is because he's attracted to a human, which, you know, isn't really her fault, but you know, whatever, right? I meant to read the final book, but I got kind of sidetracked with prepping my filming for YouTube, so I didn't get to read another physical book. But I really liked how the story plays out. I'm a big fan of Holly Black and her storytelling. I love reading about the fae, fairies, elves, all that. Love it. And I end up giving The Wicked King 4.5 stars because it does end on a cliffhanger, and I still, to this day, I do not like Taryn, which is Jude's twin sister. The main lesson that Holly Black has in her stories is to never trust the fairies. Conniving little people. I don't know what I'm doing with my eyes. Oh, it looks kind of cool. So yeah, those are the 10 physical books that I read. I think I'm just gonna quickly talk about the last of the Kindle books that I read, and I'm just gonna finish my makeup off camera. So I ended up reading a short novella series, which I gave like 3 stars to all the books. These books were not very long at all, which made it like very quick to read. I think I read all 5 in like a few hours. But it is 5 novellas in the Brides for Beast universe, with the section being wolves. So I think the original one is like Bear Shifters, and this is Wolf Shifters. And there is another series about Dragon Shifters. So if you're into shifter romances, this is for you. These novellas are done by Candace Ayers and Kim Dillon. So you get Wolf's Captive, Wolf's Jailbird, Wolf's Prize, Wolf's Fated, and Wolf's Christmas. And I basically read this one for the Christmas one. You kind of don't have to read them in order, but it helps because you kind of get the idea of what the hell's going on. They're very easy to read. They're a little spicy. It's like basically like a fated mate story. And then the last one is set around Christmas time, and that leads to the Dragon Shifter series, which I did not read. And I read another novella, this one being a Christmas one, by Kat Baxter. I read A Very Cheeky Christmas. This is about Andrew and Maxine. She is a curvy girl and a little pun, a cheeky man. Andrew is like a stunt double for like his backside. It is very much an insta love story. Like, I think it takes place over the span of like 3 weeks. Like, Andrew meets Maxine and instantly falls for her. But it moves super fast. Quick read. I liked it. I enjoyed it. I gave it 4 stars. And this is actually part of a bigger series that is like a multi-author series. I don't think it's technically like the characters are tied together, but it's part of a series, and I think they're all Christmas related. And then I started a new series, which I absolutely adore. So there is the Christmas Fall series. This is a 8 or 9 book series where all the books are not out yet. The first 3 are, and I think the 4th one just came out on the 1st. So it's a multi-author series. Each author is doing their separate book, but all takes place in the town called Christmas Falls, which is a Christmas town. The last 2 months of the year are just like crazy with their festivities. I love stories with Christmas towns. I don't think that they really exist. I know there's a Santa Claus, Indiana. I know there's a North Pole, Alaska, but other than that, it doesn't seem that Christmassy. I was talking to my husband about how like it would be so cool to live there, but we can't. Because what would be in a Christmas town? Christmas trees. Was my husband allergic to? Christmas trees. I will say that this entire series is an romance series. So if you're not into gay men and their love stories, not a series for you. But these are all kind of tied together because it's all in the same town and the characters kind of know each other. So the first one is Grinch Kisses by DJ Jameson. This is the story of Griff and Logan. Logan is fake dating Griff's sister, and Griff runs the town's festivities. Like, he's the event planner, doer of everything. with Christmas time. Super stressed at the end of the year. I will say all these stories, they're cute. They're love stories, cute. Nobody Loves Me is by Jackie James. This is about Arlo, who is a bed and breakfast owner. He's older. And then there's Emerson, who is younger. I think there's a 12-year age gap. Emerson is a mystery author, and Emerson kind of gets stranded in Christmas Falls because his plans for the Bahamas kind of failed, and Arlo kind of takes him in. Arlo's so cute because like he finds Emerson so attractive, but like he doesn't want to act on it because he feels like the creepy older man. Get Frosted is book 3. This was by Amy Aslan. This is a brother's best friend hockey players. Like, come on. I love a good hockey romance. This isn't about like playing hockey, this is about retired hockey players. So you have Mick and Rudy. Rudy is Mick's brother's best friend. They're kind of like former hockey rivals. In the league they kind of played up that they didn't get along. Rudy has apparently been crushing on Mick for the longest time, and Rudy finally makes a move when he gets a job offer to leave the area. But it was cute. I gave each book 5 stars. I feel like this is going to be one of my favorite Christmas series. Christmas Falls is adorable. I would love to live there. They make it sound so fun. And then the last 2 books I read were part of a series that I actually started last month, and I didn't realize until I was like halfway through the books, like, hey, this is part of a bigger series. So this is the Eden series by Devney Perry. I ended up finally reading Indigo Ridge, which is the first book, and then I finished Juniper Hill, which is the second book. This all takes place in Quincy, Montana, where the Eden's family is basically like local famous people because their family actually founded the town. So book 1 takes place where Winslow comes in. She is the new town's police chief, and people aren't happy because she's an outsider, she's young, she's a woman, and they don't think that she is fit for her job. She meets Griff. They both think each other are just tourists, you know, not part of the town, and their whole thing was they didn't want to hook up with somebody that they would be seeing constantly. So when they found out that each other was who each other was, they were not happy. But they had such good chemistry, they kept meeting up together. And the premise of Indigo Ridge is there was a body found on the Eden's ranch, and Winslow investigates it, and she refuses to believe that it is just another suicide. Apparently the small town had 7 suicides in the last 10 years. I think Winslow, being the outsider that she is, she was able to kind of see a pattern that didn't make sense. And everybody, even Griff, was telling her to drop it, and she refused. It's like when you refuse to let something go, eventually the people that commit the crime come after you. But I really enjoyed it. I love Griffin and Winslow's banter. I love how they kind of came together and formed a relationship even though they fought it so hard. And then Juniper Hill is with Knox and Memphis. Knox is Griffin's brother. So all these books take place with the Eden's siblings. We get Knox's story. Knox is a chef. He's tattooed. He's pot, apparently. Memphis is a single mom who is really just down on her luck. She ends up picking Quincy, Montana, and she ends up getting a job at the Eloise Hotel where she becomes a housekeeper. Now, Memphis is a fallen New York socialite who was cut off from her family. Basically, she was cut off because she refused to tell her father who the father of her baby is. Knox actually agrees to let Memphis stay in his loft with her son Drake. He didn't want that. He likes his solitude. It's like a forced proximity story. Knox is a little bit of a dick to her in the beginning, but they eventually like form a connection, and I think it's really heartbreaking what Knox went through, why he is so scared of being attached to a child. They form together, and finish my makeup, and then I'll be back with my final thoughts because I talk too much. Oh my god. Alright, and here's my completed look. I really like how this look came out. It wasn't really what I was going for, but it fits my hoodie, it fits my earrings, it fits this time of year. It is December. I'm ready to read a bunch of Christmas books and bake cookies and just celebrate the holiday season. But all my makeup details will be listed down below, along with the books that I read if you're interested in checking those out. But I had fun doing this video. I love talking about books, even though I really suck at talking about books. But reading and makeup is such a passion for me. I'm just obsessed with both, so I love doing these videos. But have you read any of these books? If you have, what do you think of them? Are you excited about the third book in the Imperium series? Because I need to know what happens after Iron Flame. I need to know. But yeah, I think that's it. If you want to keep up with me on my other socials, I'm artistryxashh everywhere. And if you want more book content, I am devouring bookishly on TikTok and Instagram. Over on my makeup TikTok, I do have a giveaway going on, so if you're interested in entering that, head on over there. But yeah, this is just another day. I needed this. I love it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have an amazing day or night whenever you're watching this, and I'll see you all tomorrow for a brand new video. Bye!
I think that my Christmas has died.